Hi, it's me, Tracy, your literary and tea time companion, back with you today, and with something a little bit different. As I am filming, in a few days, it will mark 6 months since I started my YouTube channel, and I thought it might be a bit fun to try one of the BookTube Newbie Tags. I hope I'm not too late to play along with that. So grab your cuppa, your tea, your coffee, your favorite cozy drink, and meet me back here and we'll have a little visit. I'm doing one of the BookTube Newbie Tags that probably is one of the oldest going around, or having been done the rounds for several years now, I believe. And I was not able to find an original source for these questions. There are 10 questions on the list, so my apologies if I'm not able to track the original source, but this seems to, as I say, the most common, one of the most common sets of questions for doing one of these tags. So let's just get started. The first question: why did you start this channel? To connect with other people. To connect with other book lovers and people who love literature, people who love creativity in general even. When I started my channel, it was almost sort of a lifestyle channel, focusing on creativity, and also I was blending in walks in nature. I live in a place with beautiful natural beauty, and I wanted to share that. I wanted to share living a creative life in my 50s and nature. And I always knew that I wanted books to be part of that from the beginning. In the beginning, it was, I admit, a little bit difficult, and I can share a little bit more about that with another question. But it happened organically, that this became more about, mostly about the books and how much I love reading, and I always have. And the second question maybe segues nicely from this. What unique thing can you bring to BookTube? A mature perspective and eclectic taste. If you've been here even for just a little while, you maybe have noticed my very eclectic and diverse taste in reading. And I feel like that oftentimes I have noticed that some folks like to have just one focus, or one genre focus even. I'll give an example of fantasy, and that's fabulous. I love I love the fantasy creators here on BookTube. But that's not all that I read, and it would be hard for me to just pick one genre because I read widely of so many. But it also comes back to, as well, a question that I try to ask myself. How can I help people? How can I help people with my channel? And maybe a book that I am talking about might be your next new read, maybe even a favorite read. If I can encourage diversity in reading over many genres, then I am very happy to do that. So I always try to ask myself, how can I help with this video? How can I help someone else? And the third question, what are you most excited for about your new channel? Well, it's not shiny new channel, but it feels very shiny and new to me still. Meeting other book lovers, other people who care very deeply about literature, as I do, and the recommendations, what everyone else is reading is very exciting to me, to share similar tastes, but also expand my horizons through the world of reading and books. Question number 4, why do you love reading? Oh, I feel like reading is about the heart, and writing a book, it takes a lot of heart and soul. And so when we're reading a book, we're connecting with the heart of the writer, the person who's created this. And it's about heart connection and meeting yourself in that story, in that book, even a nonfiction work. You're meeting right there with the author who's created it, with yourself, and just learning from that experience. I just feel like it's all about the heart and connecting, and the heart takes us places. It takes us far and wide, and reading is an experience. Every book is an experience, and we experience and learn something new with each read. Number 5, what books or series got you into reading? That's sort of a hard question to answer because I can't think of one specifically, because I've loved reading all my life since I was a child. I've loved books and reading. I do remember quite well. One of my first library experiences was when I was in first grade, and my school was a very old building, and the library was downstairs in what was actually the basement, and in a large room that served all kinds of purposes. The lunch room, the room where physical education, gym class happened, music, some of those other extra classes. But there, along one large wall, was the library, and it was organized by classes, by grades. And I remember there was a limit to how many books you could borrow. I borrowed 2 Beatrix Potter books, the small little square green ones, Peter Rabbit and Mrs. Tiggywinkle. I remember borrowing those when I was about 6 years old, and that was one of my first recollections of a library experience. And I remember the smell of the books, the damp smell, the old dusty smell. The books were already quite old. It was just a wonderful experience. I don't know if that could qualify as a series. Beatrix Potter wrote many books. So that's a hard question to answer very specifically, since I have always loved reading. I've always loved books since childhood. As soon as I was able to read on my own, I loved books. I loved picking out my own reading. When I was a teenager, I just devoured books into my 20s. I've been reading all my life. Just a little tea break. I have Twining's Lady Grey tea in my cup today. One of my favorites. What's in your cup today? I would love to know. It is springtime here, but it's still very chilly, so I'm still craving the cozy drinks, the warm drinks. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's autumn. Maybe it's becoming cooler there too, so you're enjoying a cup of tea or a warm cup of coffee, maybe cocoa. I do actually very occasionally drink a cup of coffee. I enjoy the occasional iced coffee in summer. But I don't drink warm coffee too often. Sometimes at a cafe where they can make it really great. But tea is my jam. Cheers. Back to the BookTube Newbie Tag questions. Number 6. When did you start reading? This probably ties in slightly with number 5. Childhood. I've been reading since I was a child, and I have never stopped. Where do you read? Number 7. Primarily on the sofa, cozy on the sofa with my book, my blanket, a cup of tea, my kitty Luna if she wants to snuggle. Primarily on the sofa. But I read many places, actually. I'll sit and read at the library, in the park, on a plane, on a train, anywhere. I will read anywhere. Number 8. What kind of books do you like to read? As I say, if you've been here even just for a couple of videos, you might have noticed the very diverse taste. So I'm reading lots of things in fiction. I enjoy literary fiction, fantasy fiction, nonfiction in topics that interest me, art, the craft of writing, knitting. I will expand my horizons with nonfiction. I will read the occasional biography. There's so many good things to read. Also, spirituality is a topic that interests me very much in the nonfiction. Poetry, of course, I love my poetry. I read widely of pretty much everything. Number 9. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? Just one question. Probably, how do you become good at this? I feel like I'm still working on that quite a lot. And how is it you just becoming really good at this? And I know that it's a question of taking time, devotion, and also probably things like not being hung up on the numbers and the analytics. It's sort of very easy to pay attention to the analytics and the numbers, probably more often than maybe we need to be. And I'm working on that. And this probably comes also with question number 10. What will be the hardest challenges to overcome starting a BookTube channel? Getting started is just getting started, but also I would say possibly along with the numbers and the analytics is just trying, and I'm 52, and that was one of the hardest, I would say, out of everything starting this channel. Just showing up with me, my aging face was actually one of the hardest things to overcome. I think that there is a bit of focus on women's appearances, and this is not just on YouTube. This goes for society in general. Women pressures to appear a certain way. And a youthful appearance is a must at all costs, and that is hard, and especially in a very public space like YouTube. Just showing up here with my gray hair, my fine lines, and my snaggletooth smile. That was the hardest challenge of all, actually. Just getting over one's self, the little hang-ups that we have about our appearance, about how we present ourselves, who we naturally are, just being our natural selves in front of the camera, and going past all of those surface details and reaching out to someone's heart is what I've been trying to do since video 1, and I will say now, 6 months on, that it does get a little bit easier. And even now, even in doing YouTube and in my 50s is becoming a little bit easier. And something that I have appreciated is that viewers, my friends here, people, I feel you are my friends, that there is a wide age range, and I love that. I want to help as many hearts as I can, no matter the age. And if my age doesn't bother anyone, no one else's certainly bothers me. And I feel like that YouTube is for everyone, regardless of age. And I've been so delighted to have been warmly welcomed here in the book community. And I am so thankful for all of you who subscribe and who have taken a moment to discover books along with me, and much more, because I do still dip into the lifestyle a little bit with my end of month notes at the end of each month, lifestyle type of video, because I still in my the description that you see on my homepage is that I'm inviting you for literary adventures to share in nature's wonders all over a cup of tea. And that's what I love to bring here to anyone who will love to be here with me for a little while and share in these wonders. And I am so thankful for everyone here. Thankful for everyone who leaves a comment, who likes or subscribes, shares in any way, even saves a video to watch for later. I appreciate all of the support so very much. There's little bits of support really do help the channel grow also. So if you don't have time to leave a comment, just leave me an emoji. You can always leave me a heart emoji, a book emoji, a cup of tea emoji. Let me know that you found some pleasure here in visiting. And that was all of the questions on the tag, and I have really enjoyed being able to share this with you today and offer a little something different. As I am filming, we are also just a few days away from the Easter holiday, and if you are celebrating that occasion, I wish you a very blessed and beautiful time. I will be taking a little bit of extra time off around the Easter weekend. I have so much book goodness to update you with shortly after Easter, so there will be much more of the book adventures coming up soon. Thank you for today, and happy reading, and as always, many blessings.